Going on every day. People, kids are getting slaughtered. Thank you guys. God bless you. That's the Hernandez family. And folks, when we come back, we'll have James Miller and folks, the globalists want you. Okay, they want to put RFID chips through, and you got to tell them, you know, we're sick of your crap. We're not going to take it no more. We're sick of it.
This is our land. These are our people. The workers, the strivers, the builders. These are our people. Who are they? They are the dark armies. The dark, murdering armies whose only honor is atrocity.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
In that line of there, who are they? Okay, these people are vicious, globalist scum. Okay, they are spineless cockroaches. Okay, they are an epiphany, and not everything they are is a disgrace to human beings. Okay, everything they are is just evil, gross, and disgusting, and I can't even come out with a word to even describe them. That's why I'm stumbling here, because I cannot come out with one single word to describe how evil and disgusting these people are. They want to take away your liberties, okay? They want to abolish anything to do with the family. You got CPS kidnapping kids all over the country, selling them on the black market. They got forcing abortions for the satanic crap. I mean, it's just so evil and disgusting. And you don't need TV. You don't need sci-fi. This puts sci-fi to shame. And this is real stuff, folks. It's going on every day. People, kids are getting slaughtered. People losing their liberties. People being groped at the airports. You know, it's just sickening. And I'm sick of it. And I'm not going to stand for it. I ain't. And bottom line, I am not going to stand for it. And it's a message to you global scum out there. You can take my life, but you know what? You will never take
You walk on these shows too?
Right here. That's my IQ. 1776, baby. And I'm sick of it. Bottom line, sick of it. You're destroying families. You're murdering.
Okay. We are live. Welcome, prisoners and slaves. This is Steve Roberts, and this is Cancel the Cabal. My special guest for tonight is Infowars nightly news reporter Dan Bidondi. Welcome, Dan.
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Very good. Okay, I'm gonna isolate you, like I said. I'm gonna zoom in, isolate your whole Skype. Okay, I guess the first question I should ask you is, you want to tell me a little bit of history about yourself, Dan?
Oh, sure. It's a long history, but I'll keep it short. It's like all my life, I mean, I was always questioning things, and in a good way, you know, questioning things. I grew up as a, you know, Bible-believing Christian, and, you know, always questioning things, and, you know, I always had a, knack for picking out things that are wrong or whatever, and, you know, and people, you know, the average person think it's a bad thing to question things. You should, you know, to keep your mouth shut and whatnot, but not me. As you see in my videos, I have a big mouth. I confront people and politicians, military, police, whoever. You know, if you do something wrong, I'm going to confront you. You know, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm far from perfect. But when tyranny's being done, when you know, injustice is being done, I'm going to confront you. And you know, I don't care about getting arrested or whatever. It's like I feel I'm doing my part as what my ancestors did. You know, I had ancestors because I'm Native American, Wampanoag tribe, and I had ancestors who fought in the Revolutionary War with General George Washington and fought for our independence and everything. And you know, I mean, I don't want their lives they gave, you know, for our freedom to go down in vain, to watch tyranny sweep over us. So I got involved in We Are Change at first, and I started being an activist, and then a radio show fell into my lap, and I was on several different networks for a while, and I got hired at Infowars.com as a reporter, and backup talk show host and all that stuff. And as you've seen, I was hosted the Infowars Muddy Bomb, and I've been doing it ever since, and just keeping people informed of what's going on. I've been labeled a conspiracy theorist. Several talk show hosts say, they make up wild rumors about me and Alex Jones and everybody else in the truth movement. And it's been a fun ride, and waking people up is the main goal. Fighting a new world order. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, that's what all of us are all about.
Yeah.
Truth Broadcast Network. We're just building. I think I'm not sure, maybe the second or the third show, and I think we've got like 1 or 2 more coming up. So I think we've got like 5 shows. Like maybe 2 of them that are going to be coming up here pretty quick in the next month or so. Things are building. People are. I think people are starting to waking up.
Oh yeah. I mean, you see a huge swing in the pendulum. I mean, I'd say about 8 years ago, if you were to come out and talk about this stuff, there goes that wacko conspiracy theorist. I mean, you still get that today, but nothing like what you see now. And it's it's the establishment doing that. Because right now, like we were talking, before the show, things are just blatantly getting thrown on our faces now. People are starting to see that. And if you see the mainstream media ratings, they're declining bad. I mean, you get CNN. They're lucky they have 500,000 people a night that watch CNN versus Infowars. We get almost 3.5 million people, on the nightly news and the radio talk shows. On the radio talk show, and it's conservative numbers there. And, you see the independent news, rising and the mainstream media declining.
Yeah, exactly. And Drudge Report is actually #1 in the world. So at any one time, Infowars can be in the top 5.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Infowars is climbing. I mean, if you look at the Alexa ratings, it's climbing fast in the United States and worldwide. I mean, granted, we have news media, like mainstream media, that gets a little more ratings in the United States, but on the whole Infowars worldwide gets more ratings than they do. And it's just not like saying we're better than anybody. It's just like we tell the truth. And, Drudge Report 2, your show, and everybody else's show that, provides, alternative media. I'm sure if you're on next year by now, you got to look back. It's like, wow, our ratings increased, dramatically because people are sick of the mainstream media. They're starting to say, you know what, they're full of crap. So we're going to search for alternative media, and we're at the right place at the right time.
Exactly. Yeah, and as I told you, talking on the Skype, my show focuses a lot on exposing media, and that's what I've done. I've gotten a few viewers to start to be able to recognize the manipulations, and I just need viewers and just need watchers, and get YouTube videos passed out, and things can steamroll.
We had Ben Swan and Amber Lyon, 2 top mainstream media reporters that has been on Alex Jones' show, exposing mainstream media and how their reports get edited, censored, and all that other stuff. And that's why Amber Lyon's not working for the mainstream media no more. And it's just like it's a conglomerate of corporations that are taking over the mainstream media. Well, they own the mainstream media, I should say.
6 corporations own every single so-called mainstream media in the world.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. If you control the media, you control the people, and they'll scare you so much. If you have, 10 flashlights in your house, they'll scare you enough to go buy 10 more of them. And the thing is, it's funny, because when they talk about people like us, they call us the hypochondriacs, the conspiracy theorists, and, the fear-mongers. They call us the fear-mongers when they're the ones who hype the fear up even, with global warming, for instance. Oh, if you don't buy our eco light bulbs, you're going to kill the planet. Or if you don't drive a eco-friendly car, you're killing the animals. And polar bears and penguins can't swim. When we all been to the zoo when we were kids, we've seen them swim. But it's the mainstream media that promotes the fear-mongering. But yet we tell the truth and we give solutions, and they call us the fear-mongers.
Yeah, they're the doom and gloom all day, 24/7, 365, and you try to tell somebody facts, and you get called a fearmonger.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, like, they can't, because they used to be watered down and pampered. You know, so, get watered down news and they get pampered all the time. So when they get something that's hard hitting straight in the face, I mean, at first, when I started, I gotta admit, when I first started coming into the truth movement, the stuff scared me too. But I didn't really turn away from it. It's like, what, because I grew up with a strong faith in God, and I'm like, what, this is, as a Christian, whatever, we have to grow spiritually, and Judeo-Christian, I should say, and we have to grow spiritually. And, we have to face our problems head on, no matter what it is. And you got to swallow like a man and face it. And you got to, the thing is, I tell people, and it's not even about spirituality, it's like, you got to recognize the problem first. And you got to admit there's a problem. It sounds like an AA meeting, but you got to recognize the problem, you got to admit there's a problem before you can do anything about it, because you can't run from it. And yeah, so many people say, oh, I'm going to move to some other country, we're going to move to Mexico, but no matter where you move, it's going to follow you.
Alaska or the Yukon or something like that. Yeah.
It's just got to follow you. You can't escape tyranny. And the only way you can get rid of tyranny is you stop right where you are, turn around, face it like a man dead on, and say, you know what? I'm standing up against you. And that's where you got to get that passion, anger from, that righteous anger, and stand up. That's why you get the courage to stand up against politicians and military or police, whoever, because I get this righteous thing that takes over, because I'm sick of the oppression we're going under. And at that time, I can't care less what happens to me. And I stare them right in the face. It's like, you know what, bring it on. Whatever you want to do to me, bring it on.
Maybe that's the fighter in you. You want to talk about the fighting a little bit?
Oh, yeah, the pro wrestling. Yeah, I was a wrestler all my life. I mean, when I was younger, I got to backyard wrestling and all that. And I was a high school state champion, and I was wrestling in junior high and high school. Then I got into the pros before I graduated, and I've been doing that for 15 years plus. I took the last year off. I gained a little weight, as you can see, but I took because I was always involved with the powerlifting and all that other stuff. I won competitions and won 27 professional championships for wrestling, and I was, that close for the WWE, whatever, at one point. But the thing is, like, it's been a fun road. I met a lot of famous people, had a lot of fun, my 15 minutes of fame, all that good stuff. But yeah, it was pretty fun.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I wrestled a couple of years in high school, but didn't do all that good. So I just did something else. I just did it because Coach asked me to. And that was about it.
Well, that's the thing, when I first started wrestling in high school, like my first year, I mean, that was horrible. I mean, and I won, I'd say about 50% of my matches, and I lost them first 3. And you can see all your friends, you're a freshman, all your friends with you. There's about 8 of us that joined a wrestling team. Then we're all losing and, trying to make the varsity team, even though those of us that did make the varsity. It's like you lose your first, second, all of a sudden you see the group of people just shrink, then you're the only one left. And because, something like that you have to have a lot of heart and passion for. And, you got to like it, And then I, basically learned the ropes, so to speak, pay my dues. And by the time I was a senior, I was the one kicking people's butts. And it was pretty fun. It provided a lot of discipline too. Helped me with the school, the grades and everything else.
Yeah. So, you mentioned in the conversation before. What are your thoughts on the Pope retiring?
Oh, yeah, what I think was going on, because those you heard about Saint Malachy's prophecy. He was 12th century. I forgot what he was something to do with the Vatican, whatever. But he lived in the 12th century. They call him Saint Malachi. He lived between 1094 and 1148, and he predicted basically the last several popes, the names they were going to take and everything about them. And he's been dead on accurate up into this point. And he said the last pope will be Pope Peter the Roman. Now, that happens to be the top candidate right now for the pope. He's a black man from Rome, and his name is Cardinal Peter Turkson.
Right.
Sorry. And if you go to examiner.com, there's an article they posted about that. And, of course, mainstream media, they're going to try to downplay, and they're saying, no, it's just internet rumors suggesting this will be the last pope. And, this is a 12th century prophecy, far before, the electricity was out. And they're trying to downplay it with the headline, next pope rumors, internet rumors suggesting the next pope is the last. That's from the examiner.com, I believe. Let me get the source. Yep, examiner.com. and they were reporting on this on February 17th, saying that it's just an internet rumor. Again, downplaying everything when it was a 12th century prophecy. Because anything to do with spirituality, anything to do with any of that sort, they want to keep it on the DL. If it was a newspaper, it'd probably be this little print in the back page, and why Obama visits Santa Claus will make the front page, but they want to downplay it. Because what I think what's going on, because I've been studying Nicole, I've been an Illuminati historian for years and everything else, and what I think is going on, because those of us know, deep Bible prophecy, I'm not bashing Catholics, but the false prophet comes from Rome. The false prophet in the Bible, in Revelations, the false prophet is the Pope. He's the one who leads the world into this one religion, which they're doing now. In 1986, Pope John Paul II created the ecumenical movement. Now, he had over 110 of the world's religions in the Vatican to all say we serve the same God, Muslims included. So people out there, Muslims are the radicals. No, they play under the same hood of the under the same hood of the elite. The Muslims pay patronage to the Pope too, and the Muslims were there. They all said, and the Pope kissed the Quran. He read Buddha's belly. Even addressed the Temple of Set, and to say we all serve the same God. You have Muhammad, you have Krishna, you have this one to go to heaven. We have Jesus, but we all serve the same God. We're all going to heaven. And you had so-called Christian Pat Robertson and Billy Graham. Now, I know you say this to a lot of Christians. It's like fighting words. Yes. You talk about George Bush or Billy Graham. You are a devil. Okay?
Right.
These people are evil people.
Yep.
And Ted Turner, all these people all said, yes, wide is the gate to heaven when the Bible says narrow is the gate. And I'm not, trying to push religion onto people out there. It's just the point is the last pope here, the last pope is going to be the false prophet that brings the Antichrist to the planet. Now, what I think was on, this is just a theory, and what I think is going on is because we all know, that's been studying the New World Order for a while, we all know the elite are behind schedule. Way behind schedule. So Pope Benedict, they're trying to get this Antichrist into the planet. So he thinks basically by retiring would further the process, push it along more, because we were supposed to be in the North American Union by 2010.
Right.
And in the summer of 2010, of August, that was the deadline for the North American Union. And that's an example how we are behind, they are behind schedule, the elite. And he thinks of people like us, the resistance that's fighting this. And so they need to further their agenda along by putting the next pope in power to fulfill this prophecy. And we don't know if this St. Malachi was just leaking information or if this is a prophecy. It could be all scripted. Which with the elite, everything's scripted.
Yeah.
These people taking on certain names and everything else. And plus, it's much of a higher power and a spirituality power that is behind the controls of all this. It's not just the bankers. People think the bankers are the main, the Rothschilds and all these are the main people running the planet. No, they're only puppets compared to the elite. And then the Illuminati, people study the Illuminati. They know, the bankers control everything. They're almost at the top of the pyramid. But there's this might sound odd to a lot of people. There's a level above them. They're called the Serpents of Wisdom. Now. Okay. In the Serpents of Wisdom, they are actually fallen angels. They are the commanding chief angels of Lucifer. His angels, they're his chief angels that resonate orders from Lucifer himself to the high priest and all that give the orders to the Pope, the Black Pope, the Jesuit Pope General, and he's the one that gives the orders down to the Pope and so on, and down the chain of command. You know what I mean? Down, and it's just like the Bible says. We wrestle not against flesh, but powers of principality of darkness. In other words, we don't wrestle against people. They're not the enemy. Obama, what he's doing, it's evil, yes, but he's not the enemy. It's the spirits, the demons and whatnot. They're the ones who control these minions that to do, to push this new world order. And like the Bible says, the people are not the enemy. It's the people who control them. And that's anybody in the Illuminati knows this. And I interviewed Bill Schnoebelen. He was a former Illuminati. I interviewed Tex Maz with TexMazPowerProphecy.com. I mean, he's like, the guy's amazing. And I don't know if you know who he is.
Tex Mars? Sure.
And Cisco Wheeler, which is a personal friend of mine now. She was born into the Mothers of Darkness, and she was into the Illuminati, the women's sector of it, and her father was Illuminati, and the very deep, not just Minervals. The Minervals are entry-level Illuminati. They were into the depths of the Illuminati, and You know what I mean? And the stuff that, I learned over the years, it's just, you don't need science fiction. Anything you turn on that sci-fi channel is soft played compared to the real life. It's truth is stranger than fiction, that's for sure.
Okay. I've got a question from a viewer. What's it like been working for Infowars, and how did you actually get the gig down there in Austin, Texas?
Oh man, I can't say enough about Infowars. I'm like this with everybody there, everyone, even the people in the office, and I guess Aaron Dykes, he's been watching my videos from We Are Change and all that, but they've been watching me for a while, and the reporter contest come along, and I'm like, let me just send to my reports, and they loved me, and they love me, Jakari, Melissa Melton, David Knight, David Ortiz, Linda West, and all that. So basically, they hired us all, to come down to Austin. They brought us down there for a couple of days. They flew us all down there to see how we like it. And Alex, he sat down with every one of us, and he's like, "We like what you do. Want you to come down here and work for us." And of course, I'm like, it's a dream shot, and I, working for Infowars was like probably one of the best things that happened in my life. And I met not friends, but brothers and sisters down there. And it's nothing better than being around a bunch of people, all like-minded, all on the same page as you, and they're going through the same experiences you are. And I can't say enough about Infowars, and that's why I laugh when these people throw out these wild conspiracy theories about Alex. See, I wasn't just a reporter; I was one of Alex Jones's producers as well.
Okay.
One of the four of them, and because we had different jobs, whatever. And I was with Alex 6 to 7 days a week, sometimes 16 hours a day. I went to dinner with him and his family. I know all his family, his father, mother, his wife, his kids, and great people. It's like we all basically lived together, so to speak. Because we worked all day and went out to dinner and stuff. But and if you just to know Alex like that, it's any conspiracy theory that people throw about him. He works for the feds or whatever. You gotta sit there and laugh because you can't help it. It's like there's no one Alex on that personal level. It's like, how could you even say something like that?
Right.
It's
yeah. I actually shot 3 interviews and sent 3 videos in, and I applied for one of them positions, but other people got them. So. Yeah,
they had hundreds, almost 1,000 series entries.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and it was crazy. And like Rob Dew, he's a good friend of mine too, but he's basically right under Alex. He's like the station manager, and him and Alex, I've never seen anybody work hard as those guys, especially Alex Jones. And he told me he gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He goes to bed at probably falls asleep about 2. She has to tell him to get to bed because he's either watching the news, reading what's going on, or reading some kind of a book or whatever. And he gets up early in the morning, does his swimming and stuff, and he's at the station early with us, and we're digging up stuff, pulling the news together for him, and in the meantime he's on some other talk show, or he's shooting a video or something, and after that, going off to shoot the nightly news and all that stuff, and it's just like it being down there was just like it was just like surreal. The only reason I came back for because my family didn't want to move down there, and Alex felt bad. It's like go home, be with your family. I'll keep you on as a reporter. We'd be our New England correspondent reporter, and because my family didn't want to move down there, so I ended up moving back up to New England here in Rhode Island, and I still work with them and do reports for them and everything else. But it was the greatest experience, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Do you think your life has suffered, or has it been enhanced by Infowars?
Enhanced. On some friendship levels, the thing is like there's a price to pay for everything. When I started getting, not just Infowars, but when I started getting involved with the truth movement, I used to be the type of person when I was in high school and after, every Friday, Saturday night, people call me and say, "Oh, what are we doing tonight?" Big group of people go out and do stuff. And when I started getting involved with the truth movement, I lost friends, I lost family. I had family tell me to my face that you're a whack job. I don't want nothing to do with you no more. Best friends you've been, since grade school. Tell you to, take a hike, whatever, and wacko. And I lost relationships in my last marriage. I was divorced over the stuff, and it's just like it's been a hard life that way. And I'm having problems with my girlfriend now, and over the stuff. But the thing is, when you get this responsibility to go out there to tell people the truth, it's fun, meeting all these people and all that stuff. But the thing is, the other side is, even the Bible says that even your own friends and family will turn against you for the truth, and it's true because it happened to me. I can honestly attest for that. And on that personal part of life, it's tough, but it's like when you get a responsibility, you have to. It's not a duty. I mean, it's not. I would say it becomes a duty. It becomes a responsibility. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. How is your faith been since your research on the occult and the Illuminati?
It went from here, like through the roof. I mean, because like it makes everything. It just highlights everything you've been taught. You know what I mean? And then you learn stuff, and when you start learning the Bible on your own, that's why I don't follow religions. And I consider myself Judeo-Christian because I follow what the Bible says. But I don't really, belong to churches or nothing. And I'll go to church once in a while, with family or whatever, but I don't really belong to any because I don't believe in organized religion. Because the things what the churches teach you, and I'm not saying all pastors are bad, it's just like the system is completely dumbed down. All pastors, priests, and all that, they don't, they don't know what they should know. They keep people at a certain level, and you don't get further than that. And when you read the Bible on your own, that's this is where American history comes in. Back in I think it was 1646, it was called the Ode to Luda Satan Act. It was established under the Articles of Confederation. They want to establish public schools here in America to teach people how to read and write the Bible and learn it on their own, so they wouldn't be deceived by the Dark Ages. You could Google that. Old Deluded Satan Act, and that's what the first 123 colleges here in America were established on that principle. And we talked to George Washington has many quotes about teaching the American Indian, Christianity, the Bible, but back then they taught you how to read it for yourself. Don't listen to that pastor on that pulpit. You read it for yourself, and you obtain that knowledge, and that's what's happened to me, because for years I was listening to pastors and all that. When I started reading on my own, the whole world opened up to me. Then when I got out, then God showed me these things with the occult and all that, give me these connections and all that, and I started studying deep into the occult, deep into the Illuminati, and it just highlights everything you've been taught, from God. And regardless of people, right now, if you're an atheist, if you're whatever religion you are, God bless you, whatever, I'm not bashing you, but regardless of what you believe, folks, the people who run this planet, they are not atheists, they're not Catholics, they're not Christians, Jews, or whatever. Even though the Jews, the rumored to be the controllers of this planet. No. The people who run this planet are pure Luciferians. They believe in Lucifer as their God.
Yes, they do. Absolutely. That's what I've heard. From too many sources. You get too many sources, and you get to hear the same thing too many times. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it must be a duck.
I'm sorry, I had some my article here, a video streaming here.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, it's a crazy world, and again, it's like truth is stranger than fiction. And when they say how deep is that rabbit hole go, it's like that's an understatement. That's beyond imagination how deep that rabbit hole goes. And like I said earlier, anything you see on TV, that's just a small, soft-pedaled version of the truth. I mean, like I can't even begin to explain how much stuff that I learn and to learn to be truth and all that. Just like it's far beyond any imagination. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, I believe they have to give you some truth, but their spin is going to be a left or a right wing spin.
Yep.
That's what my main focus has been on here. And
I'm glad you mentioned that too. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
That's we'll picture this. You remember the old 3D glasses? You had the right with the red and the left with the blue.
Absolutely.
So when you're born, they put these glasses over you, and all you can see is right or left, red or blue. That's it. Right or left, red or blue, and that's a spin they put on it. So you got only two choices, but they never want to show you that little choice in the middle. That's what our founding fathers expressed. That's why they're libertarians, not Republicans and Democrats. And it falls in the Bible too, because God says walk the straight and narrow path. Yep. And because they don't want you to, the elite doesn't want you to see things down the middle. They don't want you to see this way or that way, which both lead to the same place. One presents a good way, one presents a bad way, but both lead to oblivion. You know what I mean? And they don't want you to see down the middle. So when you look at things through the middle, you see everything. You see the whole puzzle for what it is. These glasses here, they come off, and all of a sudden there's a brand new spectrum of colors that you've never seen in your life, like when you're born, all the way to you wake up, so to speak, right? All you see, or your whole life is red and blue, red and blue. When you take these glasses off, there's a brand new broad spectrum of colors that you've never seen in your life, and you're like, wow, you know what I mean? And your eyes are open to the truth about everything. Yeah. So you don't need interpretation, because you could look at something and deed the truth out of that, and take know what the lies are or the rumors are, whatever, and you could. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, once you can recognize the rhetoric, and you can pick apart the arguments and see where the deceptions are. I got another question for you. How do you personally sort through what you will cover and what is not worth your time, your airtime?
Well, what I cover is like what people need to know at the time, like what's most important, because if we go on to say there's corruption in the White House, that's like asking if a bear craps in the woods. I mean, everybody knows that there's corruption. Even if you're Republican and Democrat, everybody can honestly agree together that there's corruption. But stuff like that, like things that everybody knows, I won't really hang on to or bashing other people, because it's just a waste of time. Like a lot of talk shows, I'll sit there and bash Alex Jones or this one or that one. It's just like you're taking time from the point. What I try to do is try to get the focal point of what's going on right now is with the guns. You know what I mean? When I get on the air, whatever, I'll talk about the guns and what the situation is. And I won't come from a Republican or a Democratic point of view. I'll come from a Constitution point of view. And this way it weighs on both sides, so both sides could agree on some things and both sides could disagree. But the whole point is, you stick down the middle, like I said, and you stick it to a point and something that's very important at the time. You know what I mean? And that's basically what I do.
Yeah. I do the same thing. I don't come for it. I actually look for the left and the right spin, so I can I can point it out to viewers in that. This guy's definitely got a left hand, a fake left wing spin, and this guy over here has definitely got a fake right wing spin. And that's what I'm doing. I'm showing the spin. Do you intend to stay with Infowars long term, or do you plan on move? I'm sorry?
Yeah, I plan on staying with Infowars, and if the opportunity presents itself, I might go back to Austin. I mean, it's just like my family right now. It's just trying to work on things with that and having some personal problems with that as well. And again, it's like there's a price to pay for everything, and I'm trying to work things out with that, and I would like to eventually someday go back down to Austin and work down there.
Yeah, I've been down to Texas quite a few times, and it's really nice down there.
Yeah, a lot of good patriots, and it's one state you could say it's going to probably be the last state ever for the government to come in and take your guns, and because people down there, it's like gold, God, and guns in the Constitution. Those four things. For the majority of Texas anyway, except for some people in Dallas and all that. You got a lot of liberals up there, but most of the majority, it's like, you ain't touching my gun. Down in Texas, we could bring our guns without a permit. You could have it loaded in your car, bring it to work if you wanted to, and carry it around at work, whatever, and keep it in your house, and they don't bother you with that. And it's really easy to get a permit also to carry. And you don't mess with guns in Texas.
Yeah. What do you think about Obama? What do you think about President Obama visiting Israel and some of the other Muslim countries? The fact maybe that he's given the Muslim Brotherhoods F-16s and armaments, money, training.
Oh yeah, I read about that. He's given. Well, we know Hillary Clinton. That's why she had to resign. Because through the Benghazi scandal and all that. She was caught basically helping, aiding money and all that to the Muslim Brotherhood. And, the whole Benghazi thing with the embassy and all that stuff. And, that's why she had, she was supposed to go to these hearings. She never showed up. And that's why she had to quickly, resigned from her position. And Hillary Clinton, excuse my language, but she's a witch. I mean, like, that girl's evil as they come. Her, Janet Napolitano, Janet Reno, these girls are evil, like pure slime. And she had to get out of there because, basically the cat got let out of the bag, and, they had just, take off, you know what I mean? And, yeah, they want to pump up. The thing is going on. The Muslim Brotherhood, okay, and the Mexican drug cartels have something very in common. The United States government, the tyrannical part of the government, they're funding both of them. What they do is, the Fast and Furious project, the whole Operation Fast and Furious.
Operation Fast and Furious, yes.
Yeah, and they got caught red-handed. The BATF giving money and weapons to the drug cartels. And what they're doing is they're also aiding the Muslim Brotherhood because they want the Muslim Brotherhood to take over Egypt, the political spectrum, and they want the drug cartels to overthrow, basically just destroy Mexico. So the United States, when these groups are just overpowering, the United States could step in on the mainstream and be the great humanitarians, step in and squash the Muslim Brotherhood that they put in power, squash the drug cartels that they put in power, to take over the countries, to say, we did a good thing, we took all these countries, now we occupy them. Just like over 150 countries worldwide we are in. We put Saddam Hussein in power, to do that. Gaddafi, Bin Laden, he was on a CIA's payroll for about 10 years as Timothy Osman, and we put these people, dictators, in power, we give them everything they need, and all of a sudden, years later, when it's all, the dust is settled, people forget about it. Oh, they look at the bad stuff that they're doing. We're going to go in there and destroy them. They got weapons of mass destruction. No kidding, because we gave it to them.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? And it's just like the people fall for it over and over again. It's like overplayed constantly.
Bait and switch. That's what it is. I got more questions here.
Sure.
Okay, let me see. Hugo Chavez has stated that his cancer was caused by someone. What do you think of the sudden deaths of some of these so-called used to be friends, and now they're pushing daisies up?
Yeah, I think that could have been some kind of assassination attempt because, again, the United States government helped Hugo Chavez into power. They gave him everything he needed to rise to power. They turned countries to dictatorships, and so they could come in and squash it, and then bring it back to a freedom country again. And this time, the United States basically owns the country, so to speak. It's divide and conquer, and I think it was assassination. I really do.
Yeah, along with Castro down in Cuba. They put him in power in '59, and then they tried to take him out in '61.
Yep, and that's where Operation Northwoods came from.
Yeah, exactly.
In the 1960s, staging terror attacks, and like people laugh at you when you say that, but when you throw the government documents in your face, like Operation Fast and Furious, that's a false flag too. FM 31-20-3, that's a false flag document. There's a bunch of them. The Gulf of Tonkin, now mainstream media admits that it was a false flag. Same thing going to Vietnam too. It was the Gulf of Tonkin. It's just a bunch of them. The Cuban Missile Crisis. It's just nonstop. And later on they admit, we staged certain things, and it's eventually going to come out. Yeah, we staged 9/11. It's going to come out at the time. People are like whatever. Just like they blow it off. With the rest of them.
Yeah. Do you think it's fear? Do you think it's complacency? Do you think it's apathy? Why people don't like to hear this kind of stuff?
I don't blame people sometimes, but on the other hand, it's just, the thing is, you're an adult. Okay, a lot of times I get told things I don't want to hear either, but it's one thing you could do, two things. You can say, oh, I don't want to hear, I don't want to believe it, but the thing is, just because you don't believe it, it's like you saying, I don't believe in trucks. Trucks don't, trains. I don't believe in trains. Trains don't exist to me. I don't believe in them. They don't affect me. Well, guess what? No matter if you believe in them or not, you step on a train track and you don't move, guess what's going to happen? You're going to end up 300 yards away as a splat in somebody's wall,
That's right.
And, basically, you can say I don't believe in things all I want, or I don't want to hear whatever, but you know what? It's going to come to you. It's going to affect you, and then when it does, it's going to hit you harder, twice as hard as than when you've been told in the first place.
Yeah, Alex Jones talks about complacency bias, and that's what that is.
Yeah.
Complacency bias.
Oh, it is, and it is. It's a tough pill to swallow. I mean, I admit it too. It's a tough pill to swallow, and you don't want to hear this stuff. I mean, I don't want to hear this. I just wish it was all fake. I do. I wish all this stuff was fake, and I could go on and live a normal life. But you know what I mean? We could stop our radio shows and just go do normal things and spend time with our family and all that stuff. And Alex Jones says that all the time. He goes, "I wish all this stuff would just stop now, so I could just be with my family." But the thing is, it's our duty and responsibility. The Constitution says that too. The Bible says that. If you believe in the Bible, and it's not only your duty but your responsibility to stand up against tyranny. And again, if you're an adult, you could be like you want to be treated like a children. Be soft plated. Tell lies and all that stuff. Whatever. Just the Santa Claus is real. Then later on in your life, you find out he's not. You're like, oh, why did my parents lie to me? But you know what? You got to be told the truth. The way it is, and Jesus, Yeshua, he went around telling the straight up truth, the way it is and how it is, and people had to accept it. You have no choice when you get told the truth straight up,
Yeah, you want to go into your your thoughts on who is in more control, whether it be the Queen or the Pope or some other structure.
Well, it's the people who are on the front, on the stage, I should say. They have a lot of power. Don't get me wrong, like Queen, the Pope, and all these other people, but they're not the real dangerous people. The dangerous people are the ones pulling the strings behind the curtain. Those are the people you have to be afraid of.
Right. I totally believe that these people. I'm not sure. I've heard that there's 7 men that run the planet. That maybe is 20 families. I believe that if there is just 7 men that run the planet, they will never be seen. You'll never hear their names. Anybody that breathes a word of them will be extinguished. That's what I
yeah. Men like those the men like basically the last highest level before you get into the spiritual realm of the levels, like the top of the pyramid. Those people you'll never even people like the Queen and all them. Sometimes they don't even know who they are.
Right.
These people are very sacred people, and they're mediators between basically the spiritual aspect, the top of the pyramid, to that they mediate to the down the ladder, so to speak, down the pyramid, and it's a basic chain of command.
Okay, so you spoke of fallen angels. Do you mean the Anunnaki of the Bible?
Yeah.
Is this
his Lucifer's chief angels? They're known as the serpents of wisdom, or the dragons of wisdom. They're called that too, and they are basically. And you got Lucifer as a general, so to speak, and those are his lieutenants, sort of. And they're the ones who control all the minions and all the other the angels and all the earthly beings and their high priests and all this other stuff, and it just trickles down. This black goop of evil just trickles down this giant pyramid. And the thing is too, like even in masonry, we use Freemasonry for example. It's 33 degrees normally, unless you get to the ancient rite of Mizoram that goes up to 360th degree. But in Freemasonry, even the 32nd degree doesn't even know half the stuff. And even the 33rd degree sometimes, and they're the lodge's most worshipful master. And in other words, like we'll take a symbol for example. Like the LCNI for example. When you get into the Freemasonry, the Blue Lodge is the first 3 degrees, and that's where they suck in Christians, good people, great people. Muslims, Christians, Catholics, whoever, they'll suck you in. And 80% of Masons are good people, but they're just hoodwinked.
Yep.
They'll tell you the all-seeing eye, that's the eye of God. Then later on you learn, no, it's not the eye of God. You've been just deceived that whole time. And you end up learning it's the eye of Horus. Then all of a sudden ultimately you learn that's the eye of Lucifer. And those 1,000 points of illumination, Judge Bush said it right on TV. He talked about the angel in the whirlwind in one of his speeches. Yeah, I think it was during 9/11. And he said the 1,000 points of illumination. And he was talking about our fathers. I'm sorry. And he wasn't talking about the founding fathers.
Right.
He was talking about the fathers of the great builders.
Yep.
1,000 points of illumination, that goes deep into Freemasonry. You have to be at the top of the pyramid structure, basically, to know exactly what that means. And people, when he said that to the world, people thought, oh, yeah, he's talking about biblical stuff. That's why he said, oh, I'm on a mission for God to go after the Middle East. No, it's not from our God. It's their God, Lucifer. And 1,000 points of illumination come from the Illuminati. That comes from they call it a ziggurat, or a pyramid, at the top. That back in the days of Babylon, Nimrod, he resided at the top of the structure, the ziggurat, so he could see everything. And he used to scare people that don't do this or that because I can see you. And everybody could look up and see, the tower.
Yep.
The great tower. It's like, oh, he's watching us. Osiris is watching us, Nimrod, whatever. And that's where that comes from. But the 1,000 points of illumination, in Freemasonry at the top elite, they have on the floor of every lodge, you have a 5-pointed star. It represents the dog star, Sirius, the star Sirius in the sky.
Okay.
They call it the blazing star or the dog star. And that 1,000 points of illumination on the dollar bill, that's being illuminated by that star.
Right.
And to them, because they call Jesus is also known as the morning star too, but they call Lucifer the morning star because he's basically mimics. He's an exact copycat of Jesus, which I call Yeshua. That's his Hebrew name. And but anyway, that's where that comes from. And all the time you spend in masonry for years, and all the degrees you learn, you've been lied to every time. And that's just one symbol. And the Freemason symbol, the square and compass with the G. You think it's just a square and compass, and the G represents God or the Gnostics' God or geometry. And later on, you end up learning it's a male mounting a female, because everything in the occult is sexual. Everything.
Right.
It's a male mounting a female, and it represents as above, so below. And it's all to do with duality, equality. It's just so. And again, it's when you get to Masonry. They'll tell you all these things the symbols mean. Then later on, they tell you a little more, so you feel empowered. So what they're doing is they're taking the same secrets over and over again, and every time you rise up to a new degree, it's a grander name. Like most worshipful master mason. So you feel empowered. Power corrupts absolute. Power corrupts absolutely, and so you start to, and all of a sudden, you start teetering away from the Bible. If you're in or the Quran or whatever. If you excel further into masonry, and all of a sudden you start, without even knowing about it, you're being indoctrinated because you're starting to get entrusted, with these secrets that nobody else knows, and all of a sudden you learn about the Knights Templar, the Shriners Pass, and everything else, and the right path to the left, and it's just like you get further swept into the occult, and that's why they call it a craft, because masonry is originally a witchcraft, a black witchcraft organization of builders. That's okay. That's where it all come from. But what they do again, the Blue Lodge, they put out to the public. Oh, join Freemasonry. That's why National Treasure, the movie, they put those movies out because they need to recruit Masons. All Masons were great builders, and it was only about 6 or 7 of the founding fathers that were actually Masons. And out of them, like George Washington, he was a Mason, but he never really actually attended many lodge meetings. So,
okay. And he knew about the Illuminati too, and he also warned about them.
Yep, because the American lodges back then, they weren't as corrupted. Masonry has always been corrupt, but they weren't completely infected with Illuminism until late 1700s, early 1800s, when Washington warned them. And this is the funny part. Schools will tell you, like colleges, if they talk about the Illuminati, they'll tell you they ceased to exist in 1785 because that whole stage war they put on, and also the German government, they did go arrest anybody in the Illuminati, but they said they were extinguished. Just like the Knights Templar, Philip the Fair extinguished the Knights Templar. No, they didn't. They were, they just went underground, so to speak. And to prove that, you had Harvard, he was the president of Harvard University in the 1800s talking about the Illuminati. You had George Washington and his reverend writing letters back and forth to each other talking about the nefarious Illuminati taking over the American lodges. And then you have the Statue of Liberty, of course. This is a great story. I don't know if you heard about the Statue of Liberty.
I know it's supposed to be some kind of Greek goddess from like 3,500 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, it was Minerva, Columbia. She's got a bunch of different names as a female deity. But during the French Revolution, you know, they tell you in school that monarchy basically started the war. No, it wasn't. It was the Illuminati and the Jacobins.
Right.
They're the ones who staged the war. The food shortage, they blamed the king. And they came up with that rumor about Queen Antoinette saying to let them eat cake. She said that totally out of context about something else when she was younger. They brought that up to say, she just said that to, you know, tick off the citizens. And that's why they stormed the castle and did what they did. But and the whole thing was staged by the Jacobins and the Illuminati. And when they took over France, Notre Dame is a high holy place, and you know it's one of the most respected, even to this day, is a respected high holy place. And what they did was they put a half-naked prostitute on the altar, and the Illuminati did, and the Masons, and they put a crown on her head to symbolize the Queen of Reasoning, and a torch in hand to signify the illuminated one, Lucifer. And Frederick Bartholdi, he was a 33-degree Mason at the time. He created three statues of her. 2 were in France and one to the United States. Now, in school, you get taught it was a gift from France to the American people. No, not at all. It was a gift from the French Freemason lodges to the American lodges.
To the Illuminati here in America. Yep.
And now she stands on an 11-pointed pentagram. And you can see Google Earth, the Statue of Liberty. Yep. The 11-pointed pentagram symbolizes the beast. And she exalts her, not liberty, but her illumination upon the city of New York City. And it's this Freemasonry symbolism all over the statue. I've been there a couple of times, and it's just encrusted all over the Statue of Liberty inside and everything. You see all the symbolism and everything else. And the general public has no idea what they're looking at. They think it's this great symbol of liberty, freedom, and all that, which has nothing at all to do with that. It's Goddess Columbia, basically a prostitute, which goes actually back to Semiramis, which was Nimrod's wife, which they call Osiris and Isis, and it's just all to do with the occult, and the structures are built. Washington D.C., Paris, France, the Vatican, they're all built structurally. They have obelisk in there, it's all built structurally to bring forth one thing: their king, their lord, the Antichrist. And again, a lot of people might think I'm crazy out there, but you know what? This is what this is the elite. This is what they do. This is how they do it, and this is what they believe. Regardless of what you believe, this is what they do.
What do you know about the owl?
Owl is at first it represented was Lilith. She was the cultists say she was Adam's first wife, but she didn't want to hear by God's rules to say man was in charge. Which is a total, when you get further into the occult, you learn that was just a lie. But Lilith was, she was a female demon, and she was very violent. She's responsible. I don't know if you've seen the movie there. They filmed in Nome, Alaska. I forget, the Close Encounters or whatever, or the Third Kind, whatever it was.
Okay, yeah, on Close Encounters.
You see the owl in the window, and the guy's floating above the bed. Well, she's responsible for crib death. She attacks basically infants and kids, and she devours them, and also she haunts men in their sleep, and that's why in that movie you see, and I think it came out like 2 years ago, and it's not Close Encounters of the Third Kind, it's something like that, but it came out a couple of years ago, and but anyway, that's why they keep showing the white screech owl, and that's why they show alien ships, because it's all related. And everybody high into the occult knows that aliens and demons and all this stuff are all connected with each other, And the public has no clue what they're watching. They're just like, oh my God, some scary stuff, but they have no clue what actually is being portrayed in those messages.
Right. So what does it symbolize to them?
Oh, it symbolizes wisdom and basically just dominance. Wisdom and nobility and wisdom.
Okay.
And also,
go ahead.
It also symbolizes the god Moloch too.
Okay. I thought of another question too. Do you think these fallen angels, demonic entities, are they the same entities that David Icke talks of?
I don't know. I disagree with a lot of stuff with David Icke. He's a good guy. I mean, he really is. But he talks about the moon being a hologram, whatever. But it's just stuff that he doesn't really cover, especially the spiritual aspect of stuff sometimes. But I don't know. I'm not like bashing him. He's a great guy and everything, but it's just like I don't agree with him on a lot of that stuff, and because anybody that knows that stuff knows what these things really are.
Okay. Well, we're coming up on the hour. Do you have a radio or what kind of shows are you doing? You want to go ahead and promote them then, and we can do that and call it tonight here in 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh no, just my website's truthradioshow.com. I'm off the air right now. I'm just regrouping, sort of speak. But you can catch me on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. And we ask everybody to subscribe to a membership. It's only $5.95 a month, and you get 10 passwords. In other words, you buy one membership, and you can give out 10 passwords to your friends. Your username and password to 10 of your friends, and they can all watch the Infowars Nightly News. And we're losing money. I mean, like $6, doesn't do nothing. But we want to get the information out as cheap as possible. And the funding, as you can see, if you watch the videos, it goes toward new studios, new equipment, hiring new people to do things, because like everybody down in Infowars is just working day and night, and it's just so much stuff, and it's. The money helps out a lot.
Yeah. So what kind of events do you have coming up then? What are your plans for the next few months here, next few weeks?
I'm just going to go out and do some reporting and all that stuff, and I'm also, want to work on some videos. I'm trying to get a documentary going. I've been trying forever, because I'm like basically an expert with the Mark of the Beast type thing, the RFID chip, Catherine Albright. But I'm trying to create a documentary movie on this. It's just the funding and the time and everything else, and that goes along with it.
Yeah.
That's my goal to do, and I want to write a book about the Illuminati, and it's got to be not a book, but a textbook. I mean, probably 500-600 pages at least, and because I want to get to every detail. I want to explain every secret society known, and what they have to do with them, and their affiliation, and what they cult it. I want to cover everything, every aspect with history and everything else, and I want to get into every detail. It's going to be like a textbook manual, when I'm done with it.
Yeah. What do you think the key is to getting people to listen to people like us?
Well, just keep telling the truth. I mean, like, don't change your ways or whatever. Just go with what you got. Tell the truth, and even if they don't listen, it plants the seed. Because I had so many people over the years, oh yeah, you're full of crap, and they come back later on, when their friends are not around, I seen something that it's kind of scared me, and they want to know more information about it. Now the seeds start to grow, so I suggest just keep plugging the truth. Don't soft pedal it. Just tell how it is the way it is.
Yeah, I think if you keep telling the truth, something will resonate with someone. And then that little fact, like you say, will come into their head, and they will go look something up and research it, and not just believe something that they see on a TV screen.
Oh yeah, we told people about the helicopters, the martial law and all that. They're doing drills at night and everything. And like, he's like my cousin, for instance, he was like, "Oh, you're a wacko," or whatever. And then he's driving home one night because he had to work late, and he's seen these military trucks and these chemical warfare trucks on the highway, pulled over in a truck stop, and they're all doing stuff. It scared the crap out of him. So he called me up. He goes, "Dude, it's like you were right about that." And like I was watching what they were doing, because I pulled the truck stop. And he goes, "They weren't just sitting there. They were doing something, 2:30 in the morning, whatever." And and that's where it plants the seed, and you start seeing stuff on your own. And like, wow, this guy, he ain't such a wacko after all, And over the years, you start becoming less and less of a wacko to these people.
Right. Well, Dan, we are coming up on the hour, so I want to say great interview.
Oh, thank you. Anytime, man.
Great talking to you. Okay. If you have any kind of, breaking information that you can't get a hold of anybody else, just give us a message, and we'll go live whenever you want to.
Will do, man, and thanks for having me.
Thanks a lot, Dan. Have a good night.
You too. Take care.
Goodbye. All right. My hour is up. I'm not going to run a video to close out. I'm just going to say good night. Cancel the Cabal. I'm Steve Roberts. Death to the New World Order. Good night.